The main character is in front of some large building, looking at him with surprise. It is a planet which is in millions of years of Earth and population by countless sentient beings. But the country in which the main character is now experiencing a problem with a low population. And before the inhabitants of this country graduate from college, they need to find a partner. Otherwise, the state will do it, and if they want to file for divorce, they will have to pay 10 million in taxes. The main character's name is Xing Guang. She is 22 years old. She just graduated from college, and unfortunately, she is single. Right now, she is next to the marriage office. Who should find her a marriage partner? At that moment, in the middle of the street, loudspeakers are heard saying that all people should get married and no one should be alone. Xing Guang listened to everything in this and felt embarrassed, since right now she is in this tragic situation and she is waiting for the state to appoint her a partner. She also remembers the moment when before she graduated from college, she met some guy and he left her right before graduation. Angry, she ran to the marriage office thinking that it was all his fault because he did not love her. Having entered the office, she approached the girl who works there and told her to take this and go to the computer. The computer will choose 10 random numbers, and each number represents a partner, and the main character will have to choose one partner. Looking at the computer, Xing Guang did not understand how to choose her future. We are already there since there are only numbers, and there is no more information about the person. Suddenly, one of the people told the main character that if she does not choose a number within 30 seconds, the system will automatically choose for her and she will regret it all her life. Suddenly, a countdown appeared in which it was written that there were only 3 seconds left, and Xing Guang tensed up a lot and started randomly poking at all the numbers without understanding where she was clicking. When the countdown came to an end, the system informed the main character that the number of the partner she chose was 1331452. After that, the computer asked Xing Guang to go to the service desk and take all the information about the partner she chose there. The system also congratulated the main character, saying that she is now married. Xing Guang was a little annoyed since she couldn't choose the number she wanted, but after exhaling, she calmed down and thought that after she took her diploma from school, she would find a good job and earn good money. After she can save up 10 million, she can get a divorce and easily pay taxes. And after that, she will choose another partner that she likes better. Approaching the girl again, she gave Xing Guang information about the partner, stating that the partner was already aware of the procedure. According to the law, Xing Guang must live with her new partner for at least 1 year, and the marriage office staff will visit them as often as possible. Looking at the paper Sni took and looking at their partner's name, she thought it sounded very familiar, as if she had heard of this person somewhere before. After thinking a little more, she was a little shocked because it could be the guy she found out about in the magazine. He is not super rich, but for some reason Xing Guang was not happy, and on the contrary, even wanted to divorce him as soon as possible. The main character remembered an interview with this guy in which he stated that whoever his partner is, he should be ready to pay divorce tax. Clumsily hiding under the table and stretching out her hand with paper, the main character asked her if it was possible to make someone else be her partner. But the worker answered something absolutely impossible. The worker, looking the main character straight in the eyes, added that in her life she met a lot of beautiful girls like her who had no partner, and she asked if this meant that her standards were too high. Also, the worker did not understand how after so many years spent alone, the girl could not find a partner for herself, and even in marriage, she still tries to choose someone else. Crying, Xing Guang stated that their surnames are the same, and she suggested that the system could choose someone from her generation, and they could be relatives. Crying, Xing Guang stated that their surnames are the same, and she suggested that the system could choose someone from her generation, and they could be relatives. But the worker replied that their system is very well thought out, has a huge amount of information from which she can choose a partner. After analysis also, the woman advised Xing Guang to trust her country because their system works very well. But Xingguang did not stop asking questions, and now she was wondering if she could remain single even if she paid the divorce tax. But the worker replied that even paying this tax would not be enough. Laughing, she added that if someone tries to confuse the system, then he can even go to jail. It can completely destroy her life. And the woman asked if she was ready to take on herself drastically and confront these consequences. Xingguang screamed, "Oh my God!" Her voice was so loud that it could be heard by all the other workers who worked in this building. Meanwhile, some 3 very expensive cars raced through the city. He told the guy that his number was chosen at the marriage office only because the assistant forgot to pay all taxes, and because of this, he asks to be punished. But after that, he added that he had already informed Mr. Shi to deal with this, and the girl who chose him to step aside from this marriage as soon as possible. The guy, without thoughtfully looking into nowhere. In one of the cars was Xingguang's partner, who was sitting quietly and thinking about his own. Suddenly, the driver that there was not much left before they arrived at the marriage office. Besides that, the partner's assistant was also in the car, who turned to the young master guy. He was sad. The guy, without thoughtfully looking into nowhere, thought that his older brother is now having a decisive moment in the presidential election, and if he now rejected the decision of the marriage court, then the competitors would raise a huge fuss about it. Assistant worried, showed the latest news, and said that the guy should relax, because people still don't know that he was chosen for marriage. All of a sudden, another piece of news just appeared that was written that Zheng Qing, who is one of the 10 big figures of anti-marriage, has just been selected to get married in the northern capital. When the assistant saw this, he was completely shocked and did not understand how the news could spread so quickly, and who even knew about it. After a while, they were still able to come to the marriage office, and Zheng Qing wanted to know who his new partner was, and he asked for all the information about her. Assistant gave him a small tablet with a photo of Xingguang and all the information. When Zheng Qing saw the girl, he was completely shocked and asked who she was. Meanwhile, the main character was in some room and talking to some guy with glasses. He introduced himself as Zheng Qing Lawyers, and his name is Shi. Now he wants to talk about marriage with Zheng Qing, and he will take all the responsibility. Although Zheng Qing is single now, Miss Xie Yonyan will soon become his fiancée. She is also the last mermaid. In addition to being the last mermaid, she is the national treasure of the country. She is so popular that even all high-ranking men want to marry her. After that, the lawyer told the girl that if she voluntarily renounces marriage, then she will not have to pay a fine, and Zheng Qing will give her $1 million in compensation. But the main character replied that the problem is not about money. The lawyer was a little surprised and asked the girl if she was sure that she could compete with the beauty of Miss Xia. He also added that the daughter of a fisherman who was born on a remote island cannot be compared with Miss Xia. At that moment, Xingguang, feeling offended, asked yourself, why is there only one mermaid in this world? The main character was born only to cure the chronic illness of that mermaid. But when she turned 6, Xia's family hid Xingguang's existence. They left her sick and threw her into the ocean. She was left all alone in the big ocean, forced to defend herself. Her parents watched their daughter drown in water and talked about how she could be used as a bone marrow transplant for Jiayan Yanitek. And she looks very ugly, a girl. Even if she is the daughter of a fisherman, she did not deceive anyone and honestly chose this number. Besides this, the country recognizes them as a good couple and insisted on matching her with him. So she does not want to hear the lawyer's stories and asked him to go for a walk. She grinning and holding his glasses and told the main character that he had heard that her father had diabetes. Since Miss Xia controls the entire healthcare system in this country, it is better not to make her angry because her father will not be able to survive. After that, the lawyer asked the girl if she was sure that she could take the place of fiancé from her. Xingguang started yelling at the lawyer, saying they wouldn't dare do this to her father and she won't let it happen. Suddenly, looking to the side, she noticed Zheng Qing and was very surprised when the guy approached the girl. The main character was perplexed. That guy asked who he was. Zhongqing took the girl by the chin and touched her lips with his fingers. Looking straight into her eyes, answered that his name was Ye Zhengqing. The girl tried to get out of the hands of the guy, asking him to let her go, but Zhongqing does not let go of the girl, and trying to bring her closer to his body, said that she had the audacity to choose him. Xinguang said something, just a misunderstanding, and in fact this state chose them together to get married. And in fact she is a victim here. Besides this, she could not even think that she would choose Zhongqing. After hearing this, Zhongqing was left in a little shock and stared at the girl, thinking about what to do next at the same time. The main character already wanted to sign a divorce agreement, although she is now too broke and will not be able to pay tax. Holding the girl's hand and looking straight into her eyes, Zhongqing said she was worthy of trying to sign him after that. He told his assistant to call the worker as soon as possible. After that, looking at the girl with loving eyes, he said that he accepts her choice and they will marry at that moment. She and assistant were simply shocked. They didn't even know how to react to this since Zhongqing is against marriage, but suddenly he decided to get married after a while. The characters were already in some room where they signed documents, and the main character asked the guy if he was sure of his decision also. The girl felt very embarrassed, and at the same time even scared. It's like what happened to her now. That rarely happens to all other girls, and in theory, this should be the most beautiful day in her life. Taking a pen, she signed the marriage contract. I told the guy that now it was his turn to sign. Suddenly, the assistant asked Zhongqing if he should marry Miss Yan Yan now, and asked her master to think twice. Before signing this contract, the lawyer supported his friend and said that he is right, because Miss Z is the last mermaid, and she is very beautiful, but Zhongqing, that he has no plans to become a zoo animal. It seemed very cute, and the girl began to see her real husband in the guy. After Zhongqing signed the contract, the marriage office worker congratulated the characters, stating that they are now officially a couple for the nation. She also gave them matching certificates, and from now on the two of them should be together for at least 1 year. Then the girl told the new couple the rules they had to follow, which said that if the girl got pregnant, both parents would receive special benefits. In addition, if someone was caught having an affair, their marriage would immediately end. Xinguang raised her hand as she was wondering what would happen if their marriage didn't work out, to which the worker replied that after a year had passed, they could apply to terminate the contract, but the $10 million fine would still remain. While the main character was worried and did not understand what was happening in her life, her husband was talking to a worker who told him that they could now go home together. Meanwhile, it was raining heavily outside, and Xingqiang's husband decided to let her down. After the main character went to the dorms, Zhongqing was left alone in the car and talked to someone on the phone. As it turned out, he was talking to his brother, who asked him if the guy really agreed to marry just for him. Shitting also stated that he heard from his uncle that Zhongqing's marriage to Miss C would be temporarily put on hold, and he also asked his younger brother if he built an aquarium for her. Zhongqing replied that marriage is just icing on the cake, is optional, and his presidential election is the most important. Shitting was wondering if his little brother fell in love with the main character at first sight, to which the guy just kept silent. I remember the moment when he first met the main character.